Hello, faithful viewer, and welcome to my episode 3 review of Primeval Series 1. This episode was written again by Adrian Hodges, as were the previous two, and again directed by Silverware. It's our last episode directed of this series. Really like this one. Probably my favourite out of the previous two. This is definitely the best it's been so far. Great story, really nice, and there's not any pondering questions left. I'd probably um, say that this is where the team really is one. Everything kind of gels quite well. The creature of this episode probably the best CGI we've had all series. Moses was great. It looks really real. It looks really crocodilian. Really like it. Um, there's not really any fillers in this, and not blatant filler that's boring. Sorry like that. Oh, I would say that this is probably the best acting from everyone. All the characters are really on top form. We finally meet Helen, and Helen's great in this episode. Her confrontation with Cutter's probably the best part of the episode. Lester's got some really great one-liners on this, because he really doesn't like being wrong, and I think that really was really funny. You get to discover a bit more about the anomalies of this temporal line, which is never actually mentioned again throughout the show, which is a shame because it's quite a big discovery, which is a bit weird, but really like that. The opening shot's brilliant. I've probably used that as a thumbnail for this video, to be fair, with the mosasaur in the lifeguard. Really like the setting again, a swimming pool. The underwater shots are great. Mine's gone blank. Connor's relationship with Abby grows a bit, and it's great. It's not. He kind of shows that he doesn't have to be big and macho. He's got his brains and he can defend. And I thought that was great. That scene's really well shot as well, with the creature attacking them when it comes out on the shore. Really like that. The first time we think the idea of being stranded for anomaly is used, not on a main character though, on a side character. It was done quite well because unfortunately dies. There's a great scene with Plumber, because there's anomaly opens in a woman's I don't know what she calls it, a garage, the cellar. That's it. And it fills with water. That's a really creepy shot where the water just goes along the floor, and she kind of walks. She doesn't realise that she's in her own little world. She goes back up, then she looks back and she's got this trail of water behind her. So she goes down, and the anomaly's obviously opened and it's flooded her basement. That's a really creepy idea, and it's nice to see an anomaly underwater instead of just being on land again. That was a nice twist, and it's all shot really well. The story flows quite nicely. You get bits of drama, bits of comedy, all mixed into one. All the characters are brilliant here. There's no one that I would be like, oh, they could do a bit better. They've all done perfect. Everyone gets enough screen time. Lester's in this one a bit more, which is great. He's actually on the location, because we'll get back to that in a sec because there's more to say about that. It's the first kind of hint that Stephen has more. This is because obviously in the series 1 finale, it's revealed that Stephen's having an affair with Helen, and you can kind of see this in this episode. There's hints of it because he's got a girlfriend, which is he hasn't seen her for a long time, which it's never really explained, but it could be Helen, and it would make more sense if that was Helen, because of how he reacts and how Connor says you always give the impression that you're single, and he's like, Connor, I'm flattered, but you're really not my type, which is quite funny, because he does give the impression he's single. He fancies Abby, but then all of a sudden he drops it, which is a bit weird. That whole thing, and I know he was thought he was going to die, but still doesn't really make sense unless it's Helen, which it does make sense, and it adds to the betrayal. But then again, it might not be, because he does react differently. And there's a hint that Cutter something's happened with Stephen and Helen before, because when he's like, if she was my wife, I'd go back through a million anomalies to find her, and then he's just like, but she's not. and there's a bit of an awkward silence. And she's like, well, she meant something to me as well, you know. And he's like, yeah. And it's they don't speak, and it was really creepy, but really well shot. The only tiny bit of a nag I would have, which makes this a 9 out of 5 instead of a 9.5, because that's what I rate it, by the way, 9.5 out of 10, instead of a full 10 out of 10, which it nearly did. Is it's just the end. There's a bit where Connor says, like, this creature could fit through the sewers. Well, we're in trouble because we could have a bit of a problem. It could go out to sewers, go out to sea. It's never really explained, like never really mentioned again. It was mentioned at the very end as well. If they did something with that, maybe it would have been a bit more interesting, or just cut that bit because there's no need for it. But I know it's a bit of a nag, but it does add to the tension, I suppose, at the end of it, the mosasaur getting eaten by the bigger mosasaur, which I thought was really nice. And the underwater Cretaceous seas, the song, the music played in it is called Cretaceous Seas. It's, I think, really good, really well done. The music for it's brilliant. I really like the music. Cutter's great in it, like I said. Lester and Cutter and Claudia's relationship develops a bit more in this one as well. I think this is the episode where Claudia starts to make herself, like, I think she's kind of feels betrayed by Cutter, and it hurts her when he doesn't tell her about Helen. So I think their relationship grows a bit more in this episode. Duncan and Tom, their subplot starting to become a bit bolder, as we're going to see in the next episode. The next time trailer is great, by the way, really suspenseful. The Hesperornis, I can't say the word. The big bird. That's really, I like that addition to the. It didn't really need to have the big bird thing, but I think that was a really great creepy scene where he's like, "Oh, your dog's having fun in the water," the plumber, and she's like, "We don't have a dog," and she kind of just walks up, it's like one idiot, walks up the stairs like, "Oh, whatever, plumber's a plumber," and then she hears screaming, she goes back down, and he's being attacked by this giant bird, and it's really eerie, like it just sits with its head turned in the shadows and pounced on him, but as Helen says, they look more tough than they are. They're not scary. But we don't actually know if that plumber dies. They say they found a body there, but an injured body, so he might live. But yeah, I really like this one. Definitely the best one we've seen so far. Sure, this review's been a bit all over the place, but it's definitely been my favourite of Series 1 so far. The creature's just brilliant, and I love it. And the idea of the big, like it regurgitates the flesh of that guy was really creepy. Really well done. The strongest story yet. So 9.5 out of 10. And yeah, see you next time for episode 4. Thanks for watching. Bye.